the fundamentals of how to play tank specifically, and more importantly, how to play Domina specifically, are relatively the same. And if you want some of my earlier takes, you can find that video. But today we're going to be doing Domina sponsored coaching. This is going to be both low rank and a high rank breakdown of how to play the character. The way I like to do this is I'd like to do low rank coaching, high rank coaching. This is free, or this was free. But before we do that, I do like to go into the practice range and kind of talk about how each ability works and the things that you should be thinking about with Domina. Obvious caveat here is that these are subject to change depending on patch notes, mini reworks, or whatever else is coming out in the future. Now, I have not had a Domina coaching session public. For whatever reason, this character hasn't been super popular to play for the large majority of players, period. And then even a smaller subset of people getting coaching, that just hasn't happened. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the way that Domina plays, and then go over each ability. I will be taking questions, but I will be taking questions at set times. So if you had to ask a question, Twitch chat, YouTube chat, I might ignore it for right now just because I'm kind of on my back-to-back-to-back. Hello, Schmafi. I appreciate it. I have not given Cowboy Style on the toilet a chance yet. I appreciate that. And I also remember you asking that question last year. I'll see you next year. Basically, the concept of Domina is that we have a mid-range tank, which is an important clarification because most tanks function significantly better within close range. The concept of a tank is something big getting your attention, creating space through that threat. And the analogy between Sigma and Domina is relatively fair. They both have decent medium range. However, one of the important concepts that's important to remember with Domina is that she generally wants to keep a bit of a distance early in fights or versus specific characters, usually other tanks. However, she is an absolutely lethal threat up close to squishy characters. There are very few characters that she's actually scared of up close when she has her resources. Her crystal charge, her shield, her slam, and yeah, her gun's not all that necessary to get up close. In fact, it can be kind of hard to track with, but a lot of her abilities are actually lethal up close, and that only becomes more so as she develops her perk. So one of the important caveats we're going to introduce here is that Domina is a poke tank versus other tanks and versus some heroes, some situations. But there is nothing wrong with you looking to gap close with Domina with your kit, depending on the resources, depending on the target. There are situations when that's good. Biggest thing to do with Domina is to anchor yourself on a corner, preferably a bit of an off angle, a little bit to the side, providing crossfire with your team to deny the enemy team cover. We'll talk more about that in the gold review. And then utilizing your abilities to apply pressure at the same time as your team. Tempo in Overwatch is essentially the timing of your pressure cycles. So that's a burst of value. That's a burst of value. Even something like reloading means that there's a bit of downtime. But the most important timing... Honey, where's the audio? Is there something wrong with the audio? Okay. The most important timing to get right with Domina, obviously, is going to be this shield. It's going to be this shield. Not just because it's such a long cooldown, but because it is such a powerful cooldown. Being able to move, duck, dodge, avoid damage is incredibly important when it comes to Domina. So finding your angle, your position to fortify with shield, to anchor down that position, that's the biggest weakness and strength of Domina, is the entire lifeblood of how this character works. Now there's other nuances as well. Doing ability damage does heal you. Dealing damage with abilities restores shields. 75% of ability damage dealt. Most of this will be through crystal charge, but technically this is also through your sonic repulsors as well. The other little bit of nuance as well is the fact that her gun has a little bit of a track and then a little bit of a burst, but it does have a limited range. It's technically hit scan like Zarya, but like Zarya, it also has a limited range, at least until you get your minor perk. The other little bit of nuance here is that the crystal charge can be manually detonated at any time, and has a little bit of a fall off depending on how accurately you place it. The wall slam has stun. These are all different nuances that you can utilize to control and apply pressure. The slam is good up close or to keep people away from you. The crystal charge is good in all ranges. The shield is good in all ranges, and the gun is a little bit better in medium ranges. So finding that balance of where to use yourself is incredibly important. The last thing that we're going to talk about here before we actually talk about how to play Domina in a real life setting is her ultimate, which, like the rest of her kit, kind of has a bit of nuance. It's really good at applying offensive pressure. I'll just read from the thing first, okay? So it's going to be Panopticon, 75 damage, hit, and then 300 implosion, 300 to 100 barrier health-based implosion. So depending on how much health is left on the barrier, how much damage you do to that bubble that surrounds them, that's how much damage that they're going to take. The reason why this is important is because if you hit multiple enemies with it, and it is area of effect, all of those enemies are going to have, you can see that guy just got one shot at, are going to have that bubble on them that they must break. Depending on how much they break of it, depends on how much damage that they take afterwards. The fun nuance to this ultimate is the fact that it's also a defensive ultimate as well. Because the people trapped inside the bubble, with few exceptions, like melees can go through it, the people that are trapped inside the bubble are unable to shoot you until they break that bubble. They're unable to shoot you until they break that bubble. In addition, yes, they're also slowed during the ultimate as well. So that bubble might be not useful just to pressure the enemy team, but also to take pressure off of yourself. And you're going to notice it's a consistent theme with a lot of Domina's abilities, with her shield, with her crystal charge, especially with the slow and detonation, the slam. All of these can be used aggressively, or they can be used defensively. And a lot of times that decision is not necessarily made by you, but by how the enemy team responds to your angle. Do they push you? You punish them. Do they ignore you? You punish them. That's kind of the key thing. It's a good, I would say it's a crazy good ultimate. It's just a very unique, creative ultimate. I've been very vocal about a lot of my criticisms of Domina in terms of how her shield is executed. Not the place for that today. But I do want to highlight that I do think that a lot of her abilities do have multiple ways to use them, which to me makes them very interesting overall. Okay, let's actually take a look at the gameplay here, and we're going to talk about how to actually play Domina and how to simplify the problem. Now, we're going to level up the amount of detail that we go into depending on the rank that we're looking at. Because we're looking at gold, this is the definition of average rank, or maybe even a little bit below average. So we're going to focus more on fundamentals. We'll talk about details here and there, but we may not delve as deeply into them. And then we'll move on to Masters. Masters is not perfect. Masters is going to make a lot of fundamental errors as well, but we'll have a little bit more leeway to go into the nitty-gritty. And if there's any nitty-gritty that you felt like I didn't touch on, that you have questions on, or you want to provide some feedback, like, well, I actually think this instead, again, let me know. We'll get to that in a second here. So first thing, that's the most important thing with Domina, is the AA. No, I don't mean Alcoholics Anonymous. That's only if you're a Doomfist player. I mean your anchor angle. In other words, where is my team? Where is my team playing? Okay, then where is my off angle with which to apply pressure? Your job with Domina is not to protect your team directly. No tank in Overwatch really does that exactly. Your job with Domina is to protect your team by providing pressure on the enemy team and controlling one space on the map, not multiple. So for example, Bambolina right here is controlling this position, and the enemies are going to not be allowed to control this position. And if they want to walk on this position and this position, she's not helpless. She's going to punish them for trying to walk on her team. So this is fine. The important problem with this position is there's nothing wrong with this position in a vacuum. The question is, are we actually playing with my team right now? So important that we're playing an off angle so we're not on our team, but we're fighting at the same time as our team. So if you look at it right now we are fighting at the same time as our hit scan DPS on the high ground. Great. The enemy team can see us. We can see them good. But our supports are not. So I want to encourage you to be a little cautious here, because this is technically a 3v5. We have a corner, we have a bit of a sight line, and now we can just shoot and apply pressure. Perfect. I like that crystal. We could use it on Cart, sure, but that might have been eaten by Diva Matrix, so now we're going to pressure the Cassidy. He doesn't want to play there anymore. I think Crystal is one of those cooldowns that, like, there's no real reason to save it if you see an opportunity to apply pressure immediately. What should we do now? Somebody's getting in our face. What's our tool to deal with that pressure? It's a little slow, right? A little slow. Now, that's going to happen in gold because this player, I know Bambolina, she is more of a Wrecking Ball player, and so she's a little new to this, but this needed to be an instantaneous reaction. Diva comes in your face, knock her away. Diva wants to get up close. You don't want to get up close right away, at least not versus Diva. So slam into the wall, sure, but we're going to have to back off of this angle here because we were unable to slam right away. So not the best. That's a good crystal. Diva overextends as a result. Now maybe we can get the kill. Good slam. Nicely done. Now, shield, because our team is now fighting. We're committing to this position. Drop the shield. Shoot what's available. Hello, Bambolina. Good tracking. Really nice tracking. The most difficult part of Domina's tracking is, and this is like a good general tip, is to remember that peak at the end is the most important part. So I won't go down the rabbit hole of tracking versus flicking. Biggest thing is you should do is to track and then be really intentional. Track and be really intentional. And if you could get the headshots, that's great too. But that was pretty good right there.
I am sympathetic, you know.
We don't need to necessarily back away as long as our team is fighting, but I understand us going, okay, my backline is so far away, maybe I should play around them. It's a big commitment. I hope that we get pressure off of this position. Maybe a situation where, well, okay, we are doing a lot of damage here, but we probably need to back off here because our backline can't see. So we can play this angle here. We can play this angle here. We could have played this angle here. We could, you ready for a spicy one? We could have played this angle here. Let them walk in and flank from behind and just hold, right? All of those positions are going to really hurt the enemy team. But we need to be quick with where we go. This is fine. This is fine. It's fine. Shoot, that D.Va's committing, so we can use shield there. We need to be way faster with that slam, though. So you see, we're losing our shield in our corner because we're letting people run through our shield, and then now the shield is just a very nice piece of lawn furniture. This is pointless. You need to punish her, hit her in the mouth for knocking you away from your shield. This is your life force, right? And now we blind Crystal, and in addition, this is not a bad position for us, but it is. It feels like we kind of got forced into using our shield defensively instead of holding the choke or holding the angle or holding the angle because we let them walk forward. Hello, Ace. I'm doing well, mate. Yeah. Target priority. Target priority doesn't matter when you only have a few choices. The first thing that matters is to take a good angle and then to shoot what's on that angle. This is an okay angle. Look at our team. We've got a nice crossfire here. We're going to deny people from coming here, and we're also going to punish the tank from this side. There's nowhere for this D.Va to hide. This is what the definition of an off angle is. Perfectly done from Bambolina. So the question here is, who do we shoot here if we have multiple choices? Well, there's lots of obvious answers. You know, squishy characters, slow characters. But the most important answer here is if I have a choice, I'll probably prioritize the squishy, even if they're harder to shoot. Because my shot, when it does land, has a much larger impact on how they behave than on a tank. Now, we could be focusing Discord here, sure, but even just one shot into this Cassidy completely removes him from the fight. We don't even need to kill him, which then means now we can turn our attention on the D.Va. Great job. Beautifully done. Crystals need to be a little bit more focused, a little bit more relaxed. A lot of crystals are just kind of thrown without any sort of intention. We could walk here in crystal. We could walk back here in crystal. We're not only inaccurately using them, we're rushing them frequently. So we need to be a little faster with the people pushing us to use our slam at this level, and then a little bit more slow with how we're using our crystal. Not exactly an angle right now. I'm a little concerned, but this... because the enemy team hasn't really committed right now. Like, see, our shield was used. The enemy team just walks behind a wall, and then now we don't have a shield again. So it might have been better here to poke from the corner and wait either to push or for them to push you. You're on defense. There's no real rush here. Good shot. Would have been nice to have Crystal here. Would have been real nice to have Crystal there. Now we have to make a decision. Do we push this, or do we, quote-unquote, anchor and deal with our problems here? We're playing Domina. We don't have the ability to chase to a lot of different places. We have to kind of pick an angle and stick with it. We can kill Cassidy 100%. Let your teammates die. Okay, maybe they can win the 4v3. Maybe, maybe not. But you could definitely win this 1v1. Alternatively, you could tail behind and kill the supports from here or harass them. You must commit. You must commit. You hear the Cassidy? I think you go for Cassidy. And this is where the nuance with how does Domina take this duel versus how do we take a duel versus D.Va, right? Do I need to be respectful of this Cassidy? Absolutely. Do I need to be scared of the Cassidy and keep my distance? Absolutely not. Throw your freaking big old fat shield right here. There's also some nuance about how you can rotate shield. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. But throw your shield right in his face, get in his face, and be like, sayonara, get him out. Get him out. See, this is too passive. We're keeping the Cassidy busy, sure, but we're not really doing anything else to this shield. This guy could be dead. He's right there. Go kill him. You're not a dive tank, but you don't need the mobility to go for that character. On the topic of perks, I do think that there's some nuance with the major perk. The Crystal Burst Charge, when you detonate it, applies a very potent slow that can keep targets from getting away from you and pushing you. And then the other one, the slam on your shield versus certain tanks and matchups could be very effective because it not only does more damage, but also stuns off of your shield. So versus anything that like the D.Va here, pushing through your shield, very, very good. I think major perk, there's arguments for both. For minor perk, I think the regen from your shields is just very, very minor. I think the range from your gun is less minor and more consistently useful. Okay. Oh, man. We rushed it. We should have slammed. We didn't slam in time, and our shield was late. You see what happened here? We just weren't decisive with what we wanted to deal with, and so we did nothing. We did nothing. And then to make matters worse, instead of staying locked into the target that we had to deal with, which was the Cassidy, not the stuff over here, we then got surprised and basically lost a 1v1 versus Cassidy. Not literally, but that's basically the consequence of what happened there. Goodbye. It's been nice to know you. It's fine to hold this general area, but you need to actually focus on controlling these targets and dealing with these targets, right? Okay. We'll watch 1 or 2 more fights, and then we're gonna go ahead and skip to a different section of the map for different questions. I think we could have recontested this if we'd used our shield to cross, but it's too late now. Sure? Sure? Good. We can walk forward now, even though we don't have our shield. We have time. So, I know why. I know why Bambolina's not walking forward, because, oh, it's too close to D.Va. We just talked about that. But our team can absolutely follow up if the D.Va pushes us here. This is a good angle here. This could also be a good angle here. If you're very good with your shield timing, if you're very good with your push timing and your slow, or sorry, your crystal, you'll be absolutely fine. This is kind of hovering in the middle of the open space. We don't really have a great angle because most of our teammates are kind of all in a straight line here. And like I said, the big thing is we don't have cover. So the question here is Bambolina is prioritizing distance over angle/cover. And I think that that's probably something that you need to be very careful about. I would generally prefer to have a little bit closer, but a good corner and a good angle than to be standing basically in the open. I actually coached a Sigma player today who had the exact same problem, where he was very scared of brawl tanks, so much so that he would basically just stand in the open stack with his team and just try to back up instead of just committing sometimes to a closer corner. And the difference between Sigma and Domina is I think if Domina gets her shield timing right, like that D.Va pushes into you, I think she might even be more tanky than Sigma versus up close characters. I think you're even less scared if you can hit your shift, it can hit when you're in front of your team. Bam. All right, I'll go Bam. Is it Bam or Bambi? You see, the problem here is that because we're stuck with our team, this makes it very easy for the enemy team to surround us, right? If we're here, we can be like, well, I can't deal with the D.Va, but I can shoot her before she stages, and I can keep the backline on us. But this backline's not really that scared of us. Bambolina? You like? Okay. I feel like, am I like the mother calling you by your full name and your middle name? Joseph Alexander! Rehoboam Squeezewad, what have you done? Decent shots. Again, random crystals. Maybe just some accidental mechanical stuff, like we're just pressing buttons by accident. Alright. Caravan Palace cover of Black Betty. I actually haven't heard that. I know I have it, I don't remember it. And here's the thing, too. When you don't have a good corner, this is when it's really easy to mess up your shield timing, right? So for Bambolina Shambalam here, it basically means that she doesn't really know when to use shield, because the second that anybody pokes here, it kind of feels like she needs the shield, right? But then your team hasn't really done anything, right? And so should we get our shield forced here by just Bastion kind of looking at us? Okay, Bastion, to be fair, did turret there, but Bastion could have just shot us in the head there without even using turret, and then now all of a sudden, now we don't have shield, now we're vulnerable, right? There's a lot of backing up and giving up space instead of trusting our corner to get value. I think you probably lose this fight no matter what you do. I mean, for crying out loud, you lost 2 people. But imagine if we were here, right? We're dead, but maybe we get a trade, right? Maybe we get a trade. So, Rick off Anderson. Rick off Anderson. All right, different point of the map. This is going to be good here. Now, the question here, does Shambalam want to go top and clear and take the angle here? Does she want to take the coast angle instead? Both of them have sightlines here. It's up to you. I love that Willoob responds to, why are you asking a silver? With coaches don't play. It's fine that Spylo's silver. I love the fact that that's just acceptable here. Yeah, Spylo's silver. That's cool. Yeah, I agree. This is okay, I guess. But again, what principle are we failing here? First off, do we have corner? Second off, do we have an off angle? I mean, look, right? Like, look, like you, this is why I think awareness of your team is so important, right? Just turn and check and be like, oh, probably should go up here. Probably should go a little wider. And let me kind of give you guys a camera POV of why angles matter. Right here, okay. Vision versus vision. Vision versus vision. Or if you want to get a little silly, probably wouldn't do this, but vision. You see it? Denies cover. If all of the damage things are in one position, even literally on top of each other, then it's very easy for the enemy team to hide. Thank you, Alu. Oh, mama! Wow. Okay. I mean, she was already low, but for crying out loud, that was pretty nice. We'll take that. But this feels so much worse because we are basically being slightly surrounded as we speak. And yes, we definitely need to work a little bit more on our crystal timing, being a little bit more deliberate. Like right here, that's a good crystal. That's a great crystal. Perfectly placed, deliberate with our placement, and that's gonna force Sebastian out. He can't stay there anymore. That's good. That's nice. Sure, we can use our ult here if we want. Yep, sure. I believe it could technically be Matrix, so do be aware of that, but I'm not as worried about the matchup for right now. That's something that you'll just get with time. Drop your shield if you need to. If you need to, perfect. Support player press Q challenge impossible. I mean, this is gold, so I just love the random crystals. Okay, let's flip the script here and let's look a little bit at the attack, and then we can move on to the masters because I want to see how we take space with Domina when you don't have the time to set up your shield and so on. Is the ult reactable? Yes. You can block it. All right. You can block it. You can eat it. This is fine. Like, we are an attack, so we kind of have to be the one. All right, team. Is your team ready to go? He's here. We're walking out. This is okay. Probably shoot what's a little closer here. I think that's something you need the perk for. So this would be a situation where you block your shield here and shoot these guys instead because they're who you can reach. I'm not reading that, Jacob. You be very careful. You don't have your shield here. So this is a situation where you might want to just use cover, shoot tank, or use your abilities rather than peek a bunch of snipers, right? So when your tempo is off, in other words, you don't have your shield, you do need to be a little bit careful about how often you peek. But you know what? We did force the backline to respect this, so the diva was just completely by herself. She was on an angle basically fighting way before anybody of her team could fight. And that's the mistake that you didn't make. 40 seconds of perfume ads? You saying my viewers stink? We need to be more selfish. I appreciate the shield here. It's not a terrible decision, but it might be better for you to move forward, take an angle, and get pressure on these jackasses right here before they become a problem. You see it? Because now you can't exactly pressure these guys because they've got big guns and they're far away. Good idea with the crystal. Not perfectly placed, but good idea. One of the things you'll want to do with crystals, lead it towards cover because that's more likely where people are going to move. And don't be like, oh, well, gold players, they know. Even gold players make these decisions. This is nice. See, this is nice. Maybe it's a little early with the shield timing. Like, our team isn't quite fighting just yet. That's something, again, just right as you walk, check your team. But nobody can take high ground, first off. Second off, everybody walking down this choke that's going to threaten your team is going to have to deal with you. Sure. Knock her back. Knock her back. Yes! Good idea with the crystal, bad placement. I want you to pick one person and smack it right in their face. But yeah, that's beautiful. This is good. Now just keep chilling, keep shooting, keep chilling, keep shooting. Shoot Ana, sure. It's fine. And then now we take the angle here, and now we have a sight line to pressure tank or pressure card. This is good. This is good. This is really good so far. Bambolita, thank you for the sub. Good. You're not shielding for your team. Doesn't matter. You control your angle. You shoot your threats. You deal with your problems. Oh, drop your shield here. Drop your shield. 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 No! Okay, we drop our shield here. Easily win this fight. Easily win this fight because we were better positioned, better mechanics, Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like, we drop our shield here. Crystal, everything's just dead. They die in a blaze of fury. This was relatively well done. You went from here until you could no longer see any threats. Couldn't even reach the Ana. So then you dropped onto a different angle with a corner and then shielded it off. Yes, your teammates got a headshot. That happens. Even with a shield, it's going to happen. So you did a good job using your resources effectively and efficiently. And can somebody meme this? Like, this is like the... I'm trying to think like a good meme here. Me when they say Tracer's overrated or takes no skill, you know. Me when they say they need another form of Star Wars media. You know, something like that. Me when they say that steroids make me angry and irrational. Have I tried stand-up? I would, but my legs don't work very well. Just don't use a crystal. Just walk forward, plop your shield down, make a decision. Slow it down. Like, it's not about the speed with which you can use the crystal. Evaluate the situation. Boo. Now you guys know why I don't do stand-up. All right, where should Shambhalam be here? Where should the Banshee be? The Banshee. We've got all our team on cart. Where should you selfishly try to control space and get an angle? Probably somewhere up top, right? And coincidentally, this is like the tanking fundamental. That's probably where enemy threats are going to come from. Or at least the really dangerous ones. Just like with you controlling high ground earlier. Now, if you didn't want to hold high ground because it doesn't feel good for you, then that's fine. Control an angle elsewhere. Right. So this is like the fundamental of tanking, right? It doesn't matter how big your shield is. This is why I really don't like her shield that big, because it kind of baits players into thinking that's how you use it, and it's just not. It's just not how Overwatch works. But yeah, you need to be plopping your big old honking shield up here. Don't let him here, because this is what's good for you. When you play tank correctly, you're not really thinking about what's good for your team. That just accidentally happens when you think about what's good for you. That's the beauty of good tanks, is that they can look very selfish with how they're playing, and yet they're protecting their team actively. And crucially, this is the problem, right? This is the problem, right? Blind Crystal, no information. Blind Shield, no information. And to be fair, at least we're not directly stacked on cart. At least we weren't initially. But it makes the rest of our game feel awkward. We're still losing to people above our height. And now we don't really have the opportunity to do that. Now, can we control an angle if we don't have high ground? Of course. Could swing all the way to here, maybe. Plop our shield and try to poke at them from here. Or poke at them from here. That would be okay. That would be okay. I sound like I stole Dr. K's accent. I don't even know how to describe that. I haven't watched a Dr. K video in ages. How would you describe Dr. K's accent? Dr. Toilet Skibbity. That's literally the guy's name in YouTube chat. I'm not making a bad joke. Quick, do that animation. Wait, which arm was it? Sorry. All right, Shibam, let's go. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Think about where we're going first, then we can worry about our shield. I love the fact that we're just like... I mean, to give you credit, you should be shooting while you're doing this, or crystalling or something. That can actually help you get to those positions. But, I mean, I like where we're going. Yeah, get your butt cheeks up here going. Let's go. I mean, this is all right. It's all right. I like where we're moving. I just wish we were doing stuff while we were moving, you know? You can cancel shield placement with alt fire. Oh, okay, cool. With alt fire. What's alt fire? What is alt fire? Is it her... What is her alt fire? Yeah, I know her right click, but what is it? Is it her shield? With primary. Yeah, what is it? What is it? Oh, so you could go pop 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 pop. Okay. Wait, are you saying is then you can cancel the shield by like just pressing the shield button again? Oh, okay. I was sorry. It's been a long time. Okay, thank you. Not a good ult. Not a good ult. Not a good ult because too much of a gamble too far away. Get to your position first. Again, it's all about positioning first and then deciding what you want to do with your abilities. So, looking at what I said here, the reason why we need to keep moving is not because this isn't an angle. Bah! The reason why is because you don't need to be scared of getting a little close versus squishies, especially with your ult. If this was D.Va in her face here and we needed to poke her out and prod her out, I understand. But just, yeah, chill. Just keep going. Keep going. You're good. You're cooking. But I do like this rotation. I want to applaud you for that. That's well done. And that will... Oh, don't force the kill. Don't force the kill. Ooh. A little dangerous. Might be better to get value out of the ultimate, even if you don't necessarily get the kill. Slam that, man. Slam it. Bambalan or whatever. Okay, I've had enough of that joke to death. We need to let that go. Sorry, guys. Yeah, just a little bit of panic. Okay, we'll stop there. Big thing for you. Set up on these corners, on these angles. Don't worry as much about your distance unless it's the tank trade. Slow down your crystal placement and be a little faster with using your shift when people get in your face. A lot of little things. You can tell that you're still working on picking up the character. But yeah, good stuff. It's infectious. It really is, Queen. It's a problem. Any questions, Bramblin? Amblin, Gamblin, Bambalan. We gotta stop. I gotta move on to the next hero, man. Hey, Britt, how are you, mate? Scamp. There's something else in there. Yeah. Okay. Played like buns because I just woke up. It's okay. Master's Domina. Hello, John.
Ready for battle.
If shield on right click and not toggle, then press left click to cancel. Okay, let's go. Let's give that a whiz. Let's give that a test. Give that a whirl. Not a whiz.
The perfect world is shaped by my hand.
So that was just tapping it. It's the same for Ram. Yeah, no comment on that one. Oh! Did she have it on toggle? How did she do that? When should you use the ultimate? Just throw it as fast as you get or keep it for a good opportunity? I would use it as fast as you can. I think for the most part, using it like as an opener is fine because like it's really consistent. But you do need a bit of proximity, like a bit of proximity. Like I wouldn't use it like only use it if you're in their face. But I definitely wouldn't be trying to snipe it across the map almost ever. So set up, wait for something to kind of cross the line, and then try to hit multi hits. But if you're gonna hit one target, aim for a squishy that's relatively close. Oh, so, okay, Skibbity. Okay, this is how it works. You could just tap and release right click and it places the shield. Everybody knows that. But if you hold it, if you're holding the button down and you're like, oh no, I made a mistake, then you can just go and tap it. And it applies to console too. So anything that you have to press the trigger in and release it, you shoot your primary fire and it just cancels it right there. You got me? Turning into Ned Flanders? What do you mean turning into Ned Flanders? I am the Flanders. Oh, that doesn't sound at all like Ned Flanders. Holy crap. Can we rewind?
Ready.
Hey! I can't. I'm not gonna do it. 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 Nope. Nope. Does melee cancel it too? I don't know. Good question. Probably. I imagine probably every ability would cancel it, but I'm not gonna test that theory.
Charmed, I'm sure.
This is kind of what I'm talking about in terms of like you're taking an angle here. Now, in higher ranks, you're going to see situations where people take more splits around you. You see it already. So For me, the question here isn't, are you on an angle? You are on an angle. You've got 2 people here, 3 people here. That's fine. You don't need 5 different splits. It's ridiculous. It's totally fine. The question here, more for path lane here, is more along the lines of, do you prefer this position or do you prefer this position? Just in a total vacuum. Do you like the sightlines? Do you like the cover? Take care. I thought, wait, is somebody leaving? Okay, maybe not. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I don't really know that I would want to rotate here. I would probably blind rotate high ground as long as my entire team's not going here and hold the sight line here just because this generally is longer. I'm not hindsighting this. Like, honestly, with the power of hindsight, this feels kind of rough with Amalga in your face, but you didn't know that. So this is just more of a map critique. I just don't know that there's a lot of heroes that I want to be here on without knowing. It's hard because forcing that height instantly isn't too easy. Of course not. It's going to be contested, but it's contested on a space that feels probably better for Domina. This is something that I would do dry as a Winston or a Diva or maybe a Rhine. Anything without a lot of range or anything with a little bit of verticality because you could actually utilize that here. But I do think that probably rotating here is not as optimal as taking height. Not just with Malga, but if anyone takes a card angle or busting, it's like, yeah, for sure. But again, you can hold this space here. You can hold this. Like, if you match Malga here, what you do is you just sit and you shoot and you trade. 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 And then Malga pushes you, he's fricked. Yeah, so just more of a micro detail. And then if you see this, you really can't go back. So this is a tank fundamental. We mentioned it briefly with Bam. And then this is this is Masters now. Domina's tough here in general, of course. But you can't go back. You must commit to dealing with your problems. And if your EDI just completely fails, that's her problem, not yours. Domina is like the definition of dealing with your own problems because the character just doesn't... Nice little combo there. That's something to kind of keep an eye on here. So look at the timing of this. Goes for a crystal, slams, and what that does is the crystal is placed such that it detonates as the stun expires. So look at this from his perspective, right? Like, tough, man, right? Tough. Keep that in mind. So basically, any team had better positioning, so the Dom had to go for a play to find value elsewhere. I mean, the EDI just freaking died. But, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think Domina being top there in general is a good play. I don't care if it would have won the fight or not. But my point here is not going to be, when I'm doing these, oh, this would have won the fight. I don't care. What's going to make you a better Domina across the board regardless of the situation? When you have options for angles, choose the angle with a better sightline. It's a good anchor. They're pressuring us. It's a good angle. They're pressuring us. It's good timing. They're pressuring us. Maybe my only nitpick here would be the crystal itself, just because this character is just going to fly out instantly anyway. So this would be a situation where dropping our abilities here and then going for a crystal to force it to rotate or here would be better. Again, a lot of crystal is taking your time to set it up based off of how the enemy team responds to your initial position. I would go as far to say that if you're planning on using your shield early, it might, using your shield once you've committed, it might be better to let the crystal be the punish for how the enemy team responds to your shield. Okay, so you can see it right here. Look at how the enemy team is responding to this angle. They're terrified. What crystal does is it says, you don't actually have cover. Sorry. And that's what makes it unique. Shield could be a bit more aggressive. I agree, but that feels a little bit hindsighted because also Ana could just sleep us. You know what I'm saying? So like that could just be so it's totally fine to use it here if we had more follow-up with Crystal. But that being said, the angle is good. The timing of the shield is relatively good. And so we're giving our team an ample opportunity to win this fight. Crystal that. Oh, we need to slam that a little sooner. And this is kind of what I talked about in terms of dealing with your problems. This fight is only winnable here if you kill that Ana or if you're able to get the trade here effectively. This is not winnable if you go, oh no, my team is dying to Malgit again. Let's run it down and then die to the Ana that you gave up. So it was a good try. Good initial setup there. Good initial shield. Decent shots could always be better. I would have liked a little bit better cooldown usage. Faster on the slam on the Mercy there. And a little bit slower with the Crystal once we had actually initially rotated. Okay. Just based off of the cadence of how much we've already talked about already, if you guys do have questions, this is going to be the review to ask them. Okay, based off of our information here, we know enemies, or teammates, excuse me, are behind us, so we can rotate here. I would probably recommend against this angle right now because we're not very effective at this range until we get minor perk. I would probably rotate towards this angle here and hold the corner or this building here, where we're slightly within effective range, and then use your cooldowns once you've actually rotated effectively. But we're a little slow. You can anchor your shield here. You can anchor your shield here. Don't be scared to anchor your shield, because if you anchor your shield, now you can shoot, now you can crystal aggressively and punish. And this forces the Malga into a situation where he has to commit through your shield or fully disengage. I would not, if your shield is going to force the enemy team to do something kind of stupid, either full out or full in, when your team is in a position to shoot even a little bit, it's an okay shield. I understand maybe why we're being hesitant now because our Onron is dead, but that's just an important principle. Yeah, see, like, look what we could do with this shield now, right? Use that crystal. Yeah, see, do you see what I'm saying about the crystal, right? That it wasn't perfectly placed, but that hurts. I wouldn't even mind slamming that earlier. That's fine. I don't think that was stupid. We saved it for cardiac. That's okay. But you see, we were down one, and we were winning that trade. He tried to punish our shield timing. You see, this is the problem with the mindset here of, oh, I always want to shield second or shield first. No, just get maximum value out of it. Because in theory, they were like, oh, she doesn't have shield anymore, we can punish that. But you had already hurt them too badly for them to punish you effectively. The key thing is that, is my team in a position to do anything? Like, for example, right now, if the answer is yes, you're going to get value out of this shield. And we do have a bit of an off angle here. A little bit. It's fine. Beautiful. Yeah, for free. Absolutely free. I would prefer to layer these abilities slightly differently. What I would do in this situation, if I'm nitpicking, is I'd probably go for the slam first. Shoot slam, okay? Then I would ultimate afterwards, just because the slam has a cooldown that's relatively short. And by the time that we have the ult expire now, we have our slam again. And we can heal underneath that slam as well. But beyond that, this is fine. We need to focus this squishy. Yep, there you go. Obviously, to focus the Malga there is totally fine because you're inside a cage, so it's all right. Do you see the difference here between our Domina here focusing mostly on her responsibilities here compared to the gold Domina? Not perfect, as we've established, but you can see the level of improvement of just kind of focusing simply on what we can control. Is it worth it to take a little damage before slamming to get the leech value? Is that greedy? It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's exactly what would have happened there, for sure. Yeah, it's fine. I like the transition there to go to squishies as they walk forward. I think the shield placement is relatively okay. Just a little too deep because it allows the Malga... I don't know. This one, maybe we just take too much damage before we have our shield. That's probably the biggest feedback I have here, is if we're going to swing wide here, we needed to have more HP, and we needed to have a shield placed a little bit better. So yeah, I think that, again, that's a little... I think this is a shield that would have worked if we'd been full HP, or if we aren't full HP, put it more conservatively and swing from a result there. Yeah, for sure. So just better HP awareness, or more conservative shield placement on that angle, on that corner. Which hero works best, worst with Domina? I don't know. More map situational. Domina on a map like this... So the thing with Domina is that she has egregious weaknesses in terms of mobility. So if the map has a lot of open space, it's very, very important that it's very, not important, but it's very useful to have flankers, both on support and DPS, that control those side angles, so you can just sit on cart, sit on high ground, sit on a corner, and just do whatever you want. What is the rule for using shield? We talked about it earlier, but wherever we are committing to a corner, committing to a fight. Like right now, the enemy team is committed, our team is committed, this shield's fine. This shield's fine. It's deep, but that's okay. See, they're going to kite that out, right? But the problem now is that they're all 1 HP because of the shield. And so if they decide to push us, if we even backed off here and they're like, oh, we don't have shield, let's push it, they're not in a position to push you. They're not in a position to push you. So this is fine. I would focus squishies more here. We're getting into the classic Malga trap of like, oh, he's low, guys. He's low. He's not. He's not low. He's never low. Good shield, obviously. Yeah. We need to shoot squishies more and our on-run fed. That's it. Still win the fight, though. A lot of resources dumped onto us, and our team capitalizes off of that, so that was well done. Okay, where's our angle here? Chat, take a second. Look at our setup, right? Look at our setup. Where's our angle? We need a corner, and we need a crossfire. On should have ulted the weaker Ana. Yeah. And Malga was getting main character. That everybody was focusing Malga and he just lives. Yeah, exactly. So we've got split here. We've got split here. I wouldn't mind us being here, but this cover is more permanent than payload right now. So just drop here. Hold. Wait for the new team to commit. Drop your shield. Shoot and poke whoever presses you here or whoever presses you here. This isn't your problem. This isn't your problem. Hold the space here. The reason why the room is better is not just because, oh, it's a deeper angle. Kind of, sure. I mean, this is still technically an angle here. It's just, it's more permanent cover. That's it. That's the only thing that matters right now. This is too bad shield. Bad shield. This is a shield to compensate for us not having cover. That's it. So now we've committed a shield, and thankfully that Malga commits. So that actually is perfect. So that actually works out nicely, but that's a little bit lucky. That time, I guess the Malga really does over. You can use your ult there. Very good. Again, what I'd say about range. This ult is so much better when you get it at a close range. Perfect use of the ability there. To slam after the ult expires. And then we get our shield just in time. Sweaty, but well played. Ooh! Only criticism there is we need to be to that corner. Only criticism. That was well done. Don't chase too far. He's just going to keep running. You're too slow. Yeah, because now we're losing presence on point. Now the Malga's back. Yeah, this is Masters. Good. We could drop our shield here. Yep. Yeah, we ended up chasing the soldier too long, and then they had a respawn advantage. So, well played. Well played. Yeah, good job. I don't know if we win that regardless because we lost a couple of people and they had closer spawn. I don't think we had close spawn there yet. But, yeah. Okay.
Namaskar.
Let's actually look at another code here. Let's look at another code. I would like to, because we do have a few codes, it might be a good time to look at a different map because I think it's good to mix it up.
Ready for battle. One.
Let's kick this off.
Nice, different map, different matchup. Is this a commitment from the enemy team and or your team? This is the only information we have. We don't have wall bangs here. Ignore the Sierra, ignore the Brigitte, ignore the Tracer. This is the only information that we have. Is this a commitment here? Yes. So then therefore this should be a shield. You should shield right here and walk and smash their face in. That's it. The problem here again is that we have a tendency here to use our crystal and then immediately shield afterwards. With the power of hindsight, let's explain what we would have done instead. Walk, shoot, drop shield. Then what do we do with our crystal? Based off of what we've seen now, this crystal will now force the Brigitte back, force the Lucio back. The point being is that a crystal into shield is often redundant. It does the exact same thing as just shooting and shielding. Whereas a crystal allows you unique opportunities that you otherwise wouldn't have. For people that are behind cover, for people that are trying to disengage you, and it also allows you to heal up the damage that you took while walking forward to place your shield in the first place. We're on a nice angle right now. Look at my Cast Mercy. Look at the Domina Junkrat combo. This is good map control. There's nowhere for the enemy team to be. We just need our crystal right now. They're like, oh, but this shield is only protecting us. Yes, it's protecting us and our Junkrat. And it means that we're not taking damage. Which means if we're not taking damage, then my supports can play deathmatch and they don't have to worry about me. That's one of the key things that Domina needs to do in these dive matchups where, everybody's surrounding you is you need to put yourself on one of those angles that dive wants to be on. Fight them, don't take damage. That's it. So this is good. I like that focus on the targets. I think our mechanics are really quite good. Good use. I love the multitasking with Domina. You look at this target and yet you're still able to snap your crystal at the right time. Feels so cool. You feel like a rock star. Well done. Well done. Only criticism was that micro feedback with the crystal. Good job. Okay, what are we doing here? I don't know if we should hold here, but I understand the logic. I do want us to turn around and check though. So you see this? Are we allowed to hold here now, chat? Yeah, I mean, look at our Cast Mercy, look at our junk. We're holding here. So let's hold the corner and be decisive and deliberate. Okay, so I get the mindset here of splitting support resources, but this is something that you do when you guarantee your safety. I don't think this is worth it. I would prefer you to hold here, shield yourself. Because the irony of shielding somebody else off, but not shielding yourself, is that now you're the one that's getting hammered. So, something to keep in mind. Good slam. Just wish we had more of a better shield trade, that's all. Drop your shield, drop your shield, drop your shield, drop your shield. Yes. It's alright. Needed to play that one better, but that was alright. you see what I was saying about squishies up close versus Domina? It's not a free win. It's not a free win. All right, where's our team? We're going to go main while our team goes left. That's fine. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. You have seen your team's position. So, chat, where should my Domina rotate through now? And where should she anchor her angle? Where should she get her AA? We've got pressure here. Before we were here, right? But that was when our cast mercy was here. For us here, we need to continue to here and hold the space here. Shoot, poke, pressure. Deal with this. If you go here and then cross in the open to go chase that threat over here, you're gonna get your face melted. High ground the map. Yeah, I don't know that I'd rotate all the way to the high ground. Might take too long. But yeah, you do need to deal exactly with this position here. We ignore it. We get shredded. We're getting smoked. I mean, we're just unbelievably lucky. What was that, 11 HP? You need to trust your initial position. Okay. Nice crystal. Oh my gosh, that Brigitte went flying with that Junkrat. Just walking left inside would have also worked, right? Well, it would have worked if we'd started here, because then we wouldn't have taken the damage in the crossing. But I don't mind with us going main or right when our team is left. It's fine with me. Take a different angle here. Probably better than going inside left, right? We're indecisive with what we wanted to deal with and where we wanted to play. I would be too scared of my teammates backing up and leaving that flank behind me wide open. As in this flank right here? From you being here? Sucks. What do you do instead? Face tank 600 damage? Your choice. Like, every decision you make in Overwatch comes with an element of trust that your teammates are going to be able to deal with a threat as best they possibly can. And every decision that they make is trusting you to deal with you not taking a face tank amount of damage. One of the biggest mistakes that tank players make is they don't trust their teammates to deal with problems. And so that then they go try to deal with the problem, take an unbelievable amount of damage, and then demand support pocket 24/7. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you didn't trust your teammates, you have become the problem. You have become the problem. That's an important concept, right? It's like, are they going to win every time in that duel? No. Are they going to lose to the Doomfist? Maybe. Are you going to do your job the best you possibly can? Yes. So do I trust my teammates to be able to deal with the Doomfist? I don't know. But I know if I don't deal with this guy here because I'm positioned here, they're going to kill me, and maybe they'll kill my backline. You know? This is the problem with tank players. Tank players try to be teammates, and then they wonder why their teammates struggle, because they're just constantly taking damage by running all over the map. Constantly taking damage. That's the support player's worst nightmare. And I know we violate support players in this channel because they're boosted in garbage. But it is worth noting that a lot of that is problematic because of how tank players perform and how they're constantly trying to deal with threats. Like right now, what are we doing? Are we committing to this position? We need to make a decision here. You need to make a decision with where we are going and what we are holding. Where are we going? Do you see it? Do you see my problem here? You didn't trust your Junkrat. You didn't trust your supports. So now what have we done? We've let the Sierra casting walk for free and taken damage while he rotated here. If we wanted to play this angle to begin with, we should have been here to begin with. Remember, you're playing the character that's slow. You don't get to move around the map. Deal with your problem. Deal with your problem. Doesn't mean you can't move this far away. You know, you got an active shield. But if this shield's not here, then these guys are destroying our team. You know? I got GM4 in support. Easiest thing in my entire life. A lot of chasing. A lot of chasing. Even here, right? This right here. No, it's fine. Trust. Just shoot your gun. You don't have slam anymore, so there's no real reason for you to go closer, right? So you need to make sure that this doesn't become a problem. What happens as soon as we vacate that? We got the Brig with a gun that we would have gotten anyway. We leave our Kitsune, and they get caught in a Sierra ult that we would have avoided entirely if we just simply sat in the corner. Right? So I know we're kind of being harsh here, but it's because this is a consistent pattern in this particular game. Deal with your problems. Never won a match in an all-GM lobby? No, I've won matches in lobbies GM2, GM1 when I was the lowest rated player in the lobby. So much less impressive to beat Champ 5 and GM1 players, chat. Break off. It's fine. It's a little cheeky. Oh man, we need to hit that crystal. That sucks. We'll look at little one last fight here. It's called getting carried. Frick off. But you didn't see my stats. I think this is fine. To be honest, this is more of a nitpick. I think the way that we're playing this is relatively okay. I think my big thing is here is that we needed to hit the shot and hit the crystal, and we just didn't. You know, that crystal instantly exploding there, that's going to kill that Sierra. And then that will maybe trade and allow your team to win elsewhere. To be honest, I think we're okay beyond that. We saw everything? Slamming Power Matrix? Yeah. Big play. Choose. Cassidy or Doomfist? Your choice. Not both. Sure? Ooh, 3, 2, 1. I think that's absurdly long. No. You're already here. Commit. Drop the shield. Merry Christmas. Now, if we commit to this rotation, I'm okay with it, but we probably should keep committing, right? There's been a lot of dancing back and forth. Yep. Don't chase the Doom. Deal with this. Yeah, exactly. Use cover. I don't know if I'd even turn my back on them. You see? Commit. Don't chase too much. I know it's difficult. Easier said than done. Good shield. Here, live because your drone blocked a shot. That's fine. Too far away, not your problem. Everybody's too far away now, so now we just find cover and wait for somebody to touch point and then annihilate them, you know? Okay, we're gonna stop here. Biggest thing the Sierra, oh my gosh, this Domina needs to work on is the timing of the crystal around the shield placement, right? Like take the space, take the angle, and then being a lot more decisive with the angles that we're actually controlling instead of chasing. I know it's difficult, again, when you're playing a highly mobile composition like this or against a highly mobile composition like this, but your importance of your decisiveness is the amount of peace of mind that your team can have that when you're going to be on a problem, that you're going to actually deal with that problem and that we're not going to go dance around. Your team, if you can cut off BAP Sierra pocket here, your team will have no problem punching through this Doomfist. No problem at all. If you deal with the Doomfist here and get all the way to this angle here, your team won't worry about the BAP Sierra as much. It's not about who's more important, BAP Sierra or Doomfist. It's about who are you better equipped, better positioned to deal with in that moment. And then once you deal with it, that's it. So fundamental of Overwatch. Beyond that, the micro was pretty good. The aim was good. I think the use of the shift was good. The ideas with their ultimates and shields were also relatively good. I mean, this is Masters, so we'd expect it. Like I said, my main critique from the limited time that we saw was the use of Crystal. Are there any questions? That's why I pick Extended Beam. Yeah. It does feel like, I don't know, easier said than done. Technically here, I understand the logic given this map, but I think if we were to get to like Garden or Night Market, thank you. If we were to get to Garden or Night Market, we'd probably find a lot more situations in which the range would be useful. Queenie and Surly on the same page. I despise you guys. You know what? Frick it. Let's watch one more fight. One more code. And this is not playing like Buns either. This is fine. This looks like Masters 4. This looks like low mid Masters Domina play. It's been pretty solid. So you play pretty well first thing in the morning, I guess. The rarity, rejoice. Yeah. We'll watch one fight. Different match, different matchup, different map, different map up. Different match. Choose your angle, right? We can mark Tracer here. I think both of these are equally fine for Domina. There's no like advantage. But yeah, we can deal with this. Parasocial thing on the enemy Sigma is a little much. Sure. I would say in this particular situation, more hindsighty, but I wouldn't have minded a deeper shield as you see he's backing off just by a meter or so. But it's really not that bad because you've guaranteed cleared him, and then you can just kind of sit on your shield and be patient. Because for him to go all the way from here all the way back, that's expensive. So it's more of a nitpick, but yeah, this is okay. I think y'all would agree a lot, given your propensity for dumping. Yeah. No, Sarah is my biggest fan. Right, Sarah? I don't like this shield. I don't like this shield because I don't like us taking the fight here, knowing we have two people on point. And if you didn't know you had a player on point, then you shouldn't be shoving the choke. You should be playing back angle here. Again, this is like the principle of off angle, but not playing by yourself. right? And you know this, like you're a Masters player, so you understand this. But there are some situations where you're very clearly unaware of where your team is fighting. And so you played this one well. The slam, the crystal, the shots, like this is all good. But this doesn't result in winning a fight despite you playing well because you're doing it by yourself. Not literally by yourself, but mostly. I don't really enjoy your Overwatch game. Sure, we can deal with Sig, we can deal with Tracer. Again, I still feel like we're holding too close. Like, we know where our junk is. We know where our soldier is. You probably should be anchoring closer to here, right? There's nothing wrong with this lane, so to speak, right? But how far forward you're holding the lane, this... Okay, hang on a second. This is really, really important. I'm gonna need to remove the. Hang on. You know what? I'm gonna stop right here, guys. I think I've hammered it home. I'm just gonna leave this on. I'm gonna go pee real fast. We're done with our sponsored coaching. Wait, I need to remove the black screen. Hang on. But I'm just gonna leave this with a muted mic for like a minute or two and just see if anybody joins chat and is like, what's going on? So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Don't tell the new chatters what's going on. Be right back.